Hello and welcome to this episode of Beyond the Hut. In this episode you will follow us when we are building our first hunting tower.
As you may have seen, we're gonna build a hunting tower in this episode, and the first step that we did was that we were taking the legs to the tower and we put them in the fire because we wanted to charcoal the legs, and that's because you don't want any moisture to get into the tree. And then the next step was to drive with all the trees on the roof to the location where we were gonna build the tower, and then we had to drag those super heavy trees along the...
Was it heavy?
It was really heavy, and I'm not used to lift so heavy things, and we were struggling a little bit. At least I did, but you helped me out. And
yeah, well, we all did our best to help you out, but it was nice to see you putting a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, I was sweating a lot because it was really warm and we were in the forest, and it was not like a straight sidewalk where you could walk. There were like animals and rocks, and it was a little bit steep, so it was a challenge, but we made it. It took us almost like half an hour to get the trees to the location, but
a lot of blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah.
We placed the hunting tower in this location because of many different reasons, and one of them is that there are quite open space with a lot of different tree lines. We have this fir tree. It's quite tight, so we know that the animals like to hide there. Last year when we were hunting there, we saw that mostly of the game that was chased by our dogs was running into this area. So we know that that is a good location. But it's quite hard to shoot in this tree area, so we have another area that we're coming to. Okay, so before they are running into that area, we have this hill where we know that they are usually coming from when they're hunted by our dogs, and it gives us a slight time opportunity to shoot, but it's very small, so it's not the best, but I think it's good enough, and hopefully we can make them stay by whistling or something like that. And if we move further on, we come to one of my favorite spots in this area. It's last year there a family of boars just came out there and was eating and having a great time, and I was sitting like 10 meters from them and had the wrong rifle, so I couldn't shoot, and the moment was so beautiful, so I don't think I would have shot anyway because the family looked so happy and peaceful, so yeah, it was nice. So if we continue on from that, we have the next location, which is another type of tree area with different kinds of trees, and this is also a good location. I know that the deers like to go out there and just chill before they're going to bed, so this is a good area as well. And we almost have this 360 degrees area from the tower. The only thing that blocks it is that tree. And the last part is the most open area, so if anything will come out there, it will be a quick and easy shot. But we have to also mention that it's quite, as you can see, very much stones everywhere, so you have to be very careful to not get any ricochets, but I think it's good.
We started off by building the base, and the base was basically just 4 tall legs that we were using, and then we were putting some fasteners on the sides to make it more stable. But since the legs were so high and so heavy, it was not stable, so we had to put some more fasteners on the diagonal, and it was pretty stable, but I wouldn't let the leg go because it would fall. As you can see, we're using fir trees for the whole tower, and we actually got those trees from our friend's garden. We were there a weekend this winter and we were taking the trees down, and then they've been drying so that we can use them. And the reason why we're using this material is because it's pretty high quality to be a tree. Like, it doesn't get rotten and it's pretty strong against the moisture. So that's why we used it, and it's also like heavy and stable.
So it was your first time building a hunting tower, and actually it was my first time as well.
It was.
And yeah, what was your thoughts about the process?
First, I was very surprised by how many hours we spent on building this tower. I thought it was gonna take like 3-4 hours maximum, and then we were gonna just chill, but no, it took us like 7 hours.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it went quite fast. But
yeah, but since my expectations was like 1, 2, 3 hours maximum, yeah. I was pretty surprised that it took us so long. And another thing was, like, we've been walking this path before, like from the car to the actual area where we're putting the tower, but when you have like 4 trees with you, it's a lot it takes so much more time to walk there. And it was really heavy. Yeah. It was hard work.
It was hard work.
I mean, it's a really good hunting tower, and we were pretty picky when we were building it.
Yes.
And that's another.
And that's because we're seeing this hunting tower, so of course to stay a long time at the same place.
Yeah.
But we have one challenge with this area, and that is that the owner of the area is planting fir trees. Yeah. So they are growing up, and they will of course be larger and larger every year. So that is also a reason why we build it so high, so we can have it there for more years before we have to move it or taking it down.
Before the trees are as high as our tower.
Exactly, and
but it's gonna take a
anything.
few years now since it's so high.
Yeah, so I think it's about 4 meters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a high tower.
It's really high. I was too scared to go up there, but...
What was your biggest challenge with building such a high tower?
I would say that it was so heavy because the trees were so tall, and they were like... It was not the small trees. They were like this big. And it was really heavy, and it was so warm outside. It was really, really sunny and warm, so I think those 2 things together was my biggest challenge. How about you?
Yeah, I think one of the challenges is that I'm quite short, so it's hard to reach out when you're like climbing a ladder and you're going to reach out to the other end to nail something. But I don't know, I think it was fun to build a high tower, and I think it would be good this season.
You did a really good job. You were working really hard while I was looking at you.
I was mostly filming. I mean, the credit should go to Henrik and Magnus that did the most part.
Yeah.
This year we were also doing a lot of wild care. We are putting out salt stone, so in the winter the animals can come and lick on the salt stone and get some salt, which is quite important in the winter time.
Yeah.
We are also hoping to seed clover, and of course the deers love clover, so hopefully that will be very good for them and make them get strong to survive the winters. What's your thoughts for this autumn and the hunts that are about to come?
I have a pretty open mind because I mean I started to go with you so late in the season, so I haven't really been like with you for the whole season, so I'm pretty excited to see like actually how much hunting are we gonna do. I can tell by our plans that we're going for a lot of hunts, but we'll see. But I'm very curious and I'm very like looking forward to it because now I have some better gear. Like last season I had pretty boots, but they were not very functional, so I was freezing, and I think that's something that's gonna change because now we have invested in great gear, so I think that will make my experience so much better.
Yeah, that's so important here in the cold winters in Scandinavia. I mean, it's always shifting, and sometimes we have quite easy winter with just -1-2 degrees.
Yeah.
But this last winter it was very cold. So.
Yeah, we had like
-10 degrees.
-10 and snow like to my knees. So
it could be cold. Yeah.
But I think now when I have the right gear, that won't make me like. I was a little bit nervous the last season because I was always freezing. But we've managed to fix that problem.
It's not fun to be out in the wild and just freeze all the time.
No, and that's what I mean. That's why I'm so happy that we made these investments and that we're gonna have a pretty awesome winter.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and
we
as we had said before, I'm not sure if we have done it in Beyond the Hut, but our main goal is to try to put out 1 episode each week at least, and so it will be a lot of hunting for us.
It will.
So what's your final thoughts about the tower?
I would say it looks handmade, but it has a charm. But still it looks stable, and as I said, it's so high that I was too scared to go up there. But I'm impressed. I didn't think that we're gonna do it like that good. It has so much higher quality. It's built with more quality than I was thinking.
Thank you for watching this episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week in the next episode.
And as always, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment if you have anything to say about this video. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.